what are the important factions in Chinese politics today? What is the equivalent of liberal or conservative in American politics?
I mean, they're all beholden to Xi Jinping in one way or another.
But do they have different ideas about what should happen with China or what should happen with the
Yeah,
world?
generally speaking, you have some people who are more pro-market.
Yeah.
These people tend to be people with more governing experience along the coastal provinces like Zhejiang province, Shanghai. And then you have the status, people, most of the careers in state-owned enterprises. So all the military industrialists, I would guess that they're more pro-state power. But actually those figures I think will ultimately be somewhat stabilizing because you basically saw this in the Soviet Union. For those people, they just want to preserve their vested interests. So it's like, okay, whoever is in charge, as long as you subsidize the state sector some more, I'll support you. So they, in the Soviet Union after Stalin died, or even, between the sort of Khrushchev and post-Khrushchev transition, they were stabilizing politically, even though they ended up damaging the Soviet economy by demanding so many subsidies for their own sector. So the fact that you have quite a number of these guys from the military industrial sector as Politburo member potentially could be stabilizing.
What's your forecast on Chinese growth or the Chinese economy relative to the U.S.? If AI is not a thing, let's just forecast out everything else. In the year 2040, is it 2x as big as U.S. economy? PPP, is it 3, 4x? Is it 1x?
I think it's 1x or sort of 1.2x of U.S. economy.
Even PPP?
Yeah, well, I don't quite believe in these PPP calculations.
Really? Interesting. How come?
Just because the quality is very different.
Yeah.
And China's in some cases still worse. In other cases, increasingly, it's better than U.S. quality.
Yeah.
So I'm not an expert, but yeah, like even controlling for inflation, so real income, overall size of the economy would be similar to the U.S., maybe slightly larger by 2040.
But it's already 1.2, right? So
no.
Not in PPP. Okay.
No. Well, yeah, if it's not PPP, then if it's just real income, I think it's like 70% of U.S. economy, something like that.
So this is quite a bearish forecast because usually people expect it to be quite dominant by 2040.
Yeah, because growth rates were slowing down anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And then now you have this trade pressure and so on and so forth. It's going to slow down. There's no big consumption stimulus in sight because of the high debt level.
Yeah.
So they can't possibly push growth rates up through that mechanism. So they have to double down on more investment, more supply side. But then at some point, is the world really going to switch to 100% buying BYD as opposed to, Volkswagen and, all these other cars? I don't know. I think there'll be a pretty big pushback or at least some kind of limit, right? So, let's say China takes over most of Latin America, most of Africa, most of Middle East. That's still not such big markets, right? You ultimately have to conquer Europe. You have to take North America. Yeah. That's going to be really tough.
If you enjoyed this clip, you can watch the full episode here and subscribe for more clips. Thanks.